Good morning, Cubies and newbies. I am Sunshine. This is the ABCube method for solving Rubik's Cubes. Works on every complexity Rubik's Cube. Works on every complexity Minx. The Mega Minx, Giga Minx. I don't remember what the other ones are called, but I've got a 7 by here. The ABCube method is two formulas. Formula A is 4 moves. Formula B is 8 moves. They're listed right there. And Formula A brings a piece to the top. Formula B moves 3 pieces around from where they are. And that's all you need to do to solve every complexity Rubik's Cubes. You don't have to progress from one cube to another. This method teaches you all of them at the exact same time. So it's not like you don't have to learn the 3x3 and then learn the 4x4 and then learn the 5x5. And there are no more algorithms to learn as you progress from smaller cubes to larger cubes. Everything can be done with just Formula A and just Formula B. Okay, quick demonstration of what the moves do before I get started. Today's Tuesday. Yesterday I did the corners on the cubes and the star parts on the minxes. Because there's a difference between the minxes and the cubes as far as the ABCube method goes. The ABCube method does not have an order of operations. You can do it whatever order you want. I do corners, then edges, then centers, but you can do whatever order you want. The minxes, however, does have an order of operations. If you are affecting this, if one of the two columns you're working with is affecting the star pieces, that means one of the two columns is your center column right here. And if the center column is used, then it has ancillary movements as well. So it moves more than just the 3 pieces you're trying to move. It moves other pieces, other non-star pieces that are affected by it. So if you do the star pieces first, then you can move the non-star pieces with just moving 3 at a time, and you don't have to duplicate any effort. For the cubes, if you do the centers first, and then you come up with a parity, you are going to have to redo some of your centers because the parity can be undone with a single quarter turn of a single slice. And I have parities lined up here to demonstrate if anyone asks questions about parities. So, real quick, what happens? Formula A brings a piece to the top. It's 1 row, 1 column. If it's the center row and the center column, then this is the cube that intersects with those 2 columns. So we move this piece out of the way, move the space where it's going to land down, move the cube into the space, and the cube in the space back up again, and that gives you boxes, what we call boxes, out, down, in, up. That can be Formula A can be used for the entire first face, but when you do use Formula A in that manner, it affects all 6 sides at the same time, so you can only use it for the first face. It doesn't help to use it for any subsequent faces because the first face will get scrambled. Formula A is also used to bring the corners to the top. So if these 2 corners will switch, and other stuff happens as well, but we only use it to affect the top of the cube, and so the rest of the cube remains by itself. So out, down, in, up, switches these pieces, doing it again, puts them back in their place, but can twist them. So if twisting them is what you wanted to do, you can slide the top row to keep that part safe and continue with your Formula A. Formula A is done in sets of, once the first 4 corners are done, Formula A is done in sets of 6, so that the bottom part of the cube is always unaffected. So Formula A twisted this corner and this corner. If you had 3 corners twisted, they'll all be twisted in the same direction. If you have 2 corners twisted, they're twisted opposite to each other. So one is clockwise, one is counterclockwise, and that's Formula A. Formula B is used to move 3 pieces around, and it's the top row and 2 columns. If they're the outside columns, then you move slide up, slide down, then 3 corners move. Okay, If you use an outside column and an inside column, then edges move, always 3 at a time. And if you use 2 inside columns, let's say up, up, down, down, then center pieces move. If it looks like 2 pieces move, but 3 pieces move, 2 of them are the same color, so it looks like 2. So Formula B does everything else that Formula A doesn't do. So yesterday we did the corners, working on the cubes. The step that I do after the corners is the edges. The corners, back in the 80s, we established that in order to solve the cube, you had to work around the center, because the center does not move relative to itself, and so it's the only, that's the only, since that doesn't move, you work around it. When we came up with the 4x4, that stopped being relevant, but we kept the mindset. So when you do the corners first, it doesn't matter if you have an even number cube, an odd number cube, or a void cube, because the corners can only be correct to each other in one position, and that then dictates what color each face is going to be, rather than working around the center. So we've got the corners done, and then since the corners are then dictating what's going to be, the next step is to do the edges, and this will do the centers last. Unless it's the 3x3, it's a good idea to position it there. But every cube, regardless of how big it is, we've got the corners done. Then we're gonna the next step to do would be to place the centers, the edges in between those corners. So we're gonna do that. To work on the corners, I did first the yellow, then the white. So I've been training my eyes to look for yellow and white. I'm going to keep looking for yellow and white. So I hold the cube so that yellow and white are left and right as dictated by the corners. And I look for anything in between the outside columns in the middle area to see whether there's a yellow or white there. I'm going to, so with yellow and white left and right, I'm going to move the yellow and white to the outside. Good morning. Hi, you guys. See who's here now. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. Stop and drop a hi in the chat if you want to. Yesterday I did the corners, and today I'm going to do the edges for the cubes, and I'm going to do the corners for the minxes. You see that I did all there's an order of operation for the minxes. I did all of the center part, all of the star parts first, so that everything else can be moved. Formula B will move 3 pieces only. Formula A will twist the corners as needed. So we're going to do the edges on this first, then we'll do the corners on those. So I hold the cube so that yellow and white are left and right. I look for anything in the middle area that has yellow or white on it. Ooh, focus. Good job. Good job, camera. Okay, and then I've already established that Formula B moves 3 pieces around. And so the corners were moved by the top row and the outside columns. To move the edges, we choose the piece that we want to move, and to apply Formula B to that, the columns then dictate themselves. So as the top row, the first column is where I want it to land. Second column is where it begins. So the first thing, here's a white and blue. First thing I'm going to do is make the corners match the front, because I can while I'm working on the outside edges, the center layers can be relatively moved. So I find a piece that's white or yellow, and I hold it so that corners match the front. I've already established that the center is in the correct spot. So this blue and white is going to land over here somewhere above the blue and white something corner. It's not going to land over here above the blue and yellow something corner. So it's going in this direction. So this is Formula B as written. Top row, first column is where it's going to land, second column is where it begins. And I usually mark the piece that my eyeballs are following, so you guys can follow with me. But this piece, so away, up, first up is where it's going to land, back, second up is where it is, away, down, in, down, and that landed. Okay, here's another yellow or white, but my active color's on the front. I want it to be on top, so I flip the cube. Yellow and white are still left and right. Bring the corners to match the front. Determine its direction. Again, this is B as written. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. This one's going to this side, so that's the mirror of each of the movements. But it's same principle. You've got the top row, 2 columns. First is where it's going to land. Second is where it is right now. And so, since it's going to land here, I start by moving it away from the action. First column up, back. Second column up, away, down, in, down. So every other move is horizontal. Every other horizontal is the reverse of the one before it. So you've got this kind of an action going on. And then for every up for every left there's a right, for every up there's a down. So holding yellow and white left and right, here's a blue, here's a yellow with blue, so I bring the corners to match the front. I send it in this direction. So first column, second column, out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. Okay, yellow or white, looking for yellow or white. Active color should be on top, so I flip the cube. Yellow and white are still left and right. Bring the corners to match the front. Going in this direction. Slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay, and we're just placing pieces one at a time. We're just looking for yellow or white. Placing the active color on top. Corners match the front. Determine its direction. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. We're going to keep doing that for as long as there's a yellow or white somewhere in the middle area. Slide up, slide down. Okay. Yellow and white are left and right. Active colors on top. Corners to match the front. And it's lather, rinse, repeat. It's the same move over and over again. It has been mentioned to me that this is boring, and that's what it's supposed to be. So the white, as soon as there's no more white or yellow in the middle, we check the sides to see if they're the opposite sides to see if they're correct. And the white is happy with itself, and the yellow is happy with itself. Sometimes some pieces will be in the wrong spot or oriented improperly, in which case we just throw any piece from the center into that spot, which moves it out to the middle, and we place it from there. So these opposite edges are placed. Now yellow and white are left and right. Look for a corner that has yellow or white in it, and I've got some blue sticky that I'm going to, this is used in the 70s to put posters on the wall, so you weren't putting thumbtacks in the wall. So yellow and white are left and right. Find a piece that has the yellow or white on it that's in the middle area. Okay. Bring the corners to match the front, same as we did with this one. And then determine its direction. So the orange and white is going to land above the orange and white corner, not above the orange and yellow corner. So it's going in this direction. So top row, first column, second column. Start by moving it away from the action. So away. First up, back, second up, away, down, back, second down. So we've got an up and an up and a down and a down. And there it is, it's placed. Okay, here's another piece. Okay. White's on top, yellow and white are left and right. Corners match the front. Top row, first column is where it will land, second column is where it begins. Okay. When you have a larger cube, you can look ahead and see which pieces want to be moved out. All of these want to be moved out. Well, the whites want to be moved out, so they're in the center where I can work with them, and this one's going to move out. Since I said that the center layers, you can rotate the corners together, but the center columns are you can rotate them freely before you do your movement. So I was looking to see whether anything matched up this red and white, and it doesn't. So I was going to see if I could displace this white out with the non-white piece, but everything's white. So I'm going to put this piece here, and I'm going to displace this white out into the middle because I can. So top row, first column, away, up, in, up, and like I said, I'm going to displace this white up into the play area, and then down and down. So that's just shortcuts is to move ahead. So this one's placed. Okay, here's another white. Okay, in the corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. All of these can stand to be moved. So is there anything else that I can? 1, 2, 3. No, there's no. The blue and white is not here. 1, it is here. Okay, so I can treat this as one piece. This is the only time where I look for pieces. Otherwise, I just find a piece and toss it. So these two are going to go over here. This one wants to be moved out as well, so I'm going to treat these three as just one piece. So out, up, in, up, out, down, in, down. That's just on the off chance that active color piece did not get flipped out. It's now where I can work on it right now rather opposed to later. So here is, let's see, we're looking for, oh, here's a white. Okay, just find a piece that does not belong and toss it in the direction it's supposed to be. Right now, I don't know if you're noticing, but right now I've been doing to the left, all of the to the lefts that I can find, so that you can see be as written. Corners match the front. This one's correct. This one wants to move. So is my, nope, nothing really I can displace it with. So just this piece, away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. All right, so now let's find another piece that's on top. Okay, they're all in the front. So I'll flip the cube over. Here is, so yellow and white are still left and right. And this piece is going still into the left direction. I'm taking a quick glance, 1, 2, 3, to see if anything lines up, and it does. So these two, and this one wants to be, I'm going to move this one out as well, so I'm going to treat this as one piece. Up, up, down, down. And I'm just getting all of my pieces into the middle where I can work with them. So corners match the front. Yellow and white are still left and right as dictated by the corners. This piece can't place, so this piece is supposed to be here, so I don't have to look on that one, but here's 1, 2, 3, nothing that really I can place there. So I'm going to place this one and displace this other yellow with a garbage piece. Up, up, down, down. But you don't have to plan ahead, you can just go one piece at a time. Which is why this is very, this is this is not a speed, this is where I do my disclaimer. This is not a speed solving method. This is not a fewest moves method. I'm just seeing who else is here. Good morning. Thank you for joining me. So it's not fewest moves, not speed, but it is incredibly, there's only 2 formulas to memorize, and it's used over and over again. You just, the cube itself dictates to you which of the 2 columns are going to be based on the cube that you want to move. Okay, so since this cube wants to go in this direction, the 2 columns are going to be where it's going to land and where it is now. It's always the top row. So I don't have to memorize, let's see, if I use these 2 columns, these are the ones that move. No, you just have to pick horizontal, the horizontal moves, move the piece away from the action and then back and forth. And the vertical moves are where the piece is going to land, are the 2 columns that interact with the cube as you want to place it. So corners to match the front. It's going in this direction. I'm going to take a quick look at the other three sides. 1, 2, 3. I saw that one goes here, so there's no real point in checking here. Okay, so I'm not going to displace this one because it wouldn't be helpful, but I am going to displace this one. So up, up, down, down. Okay. Here's another yellow or white. This is the piece I'm working on. Bring the corners to match the front. Yellow and white are left and right because I'm working on the opposite edges right now. Okay, so it's going to land here. The other ones are already in place. So away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. And lather, rinse, repeat. 1, 2, 3. One of them is advantageous to move. So slide up, slide down, slide down. Okay. Okay. Now we're going in the other direction. Okay. Corners match the front. Okay. So where it's going to land, where it begins, and start by moving it away. So away, first column, back, second column, away, first column, back, second column. So we've got up, up, down, down. All right, looking for yellow or white, there's nothing there. There's one here. It's on front, so I flip it. Again, this is crazy with regrips, and so it's not a speed method, but for those who are, if you're beginning and you want to be a speed cuber, you want to be able to see what each algorithm that you're working on does, and the way to do that is to take a solved cube and apply the algorithm to the solved cube. So if you can always have a solved cube to practice your algorithm on, you can see what the algorithm is doing and when and how it's beneficial to use it. So this will help in that way. I teach people who don't care about speed, and then once they've learned to do the cube, some of them figure out that they do care about speed and move on to totally leave me in the dust, and that's entirely as it should be. So corners match the front. Yellow is going in this direction. This one might be in place. 1, 2, there it is. Okay, so these ones want to place, but this one's where it is. So away, up, in, this one up, away, down, back, this one down, this one down. Okay, and if you are trying to skip moves while you're working on the opposite edges, the second down is irrelevant. But I do it because, like I said, I'm teaching non-cubers, and I work by muscle memory, because that's how my brain works. Who all is here? Good morning, thank you for joining me. I'm doing opposite edges on the cubes, and I'm then going to do the corners next on the mixes today. So, yellow and white are left and right. Find a piece that has one of those two colors, have the color be on top, line up the corners to match the front, and then first column's where it's going to land, second column's where it begins, always the top row. Away, up, in, up, away, down, in, down. Okay. Yellow or white, yellow, there's one. Okay. And we just keep doing this for as long as there's a yellow or white in the middle. When the yellow or whites run out of the middle, then we look to see if things are correct. And in this case, if I was looking right now, this one it's out of the center where I can find it, so it's kind of hiding over here. It's not where it wants to be. So I would, in order to get that out, if I ran out of yellows and whites in the middle, is I would place a garbage piece into that spot, which would move it out to the middle where I can play with it. So yellow or white are left and right, corners match the front, it's going in this direction. This one might be available. 1, 2, 3, and so it is. So I'm going to place both of these around this spot. Away, up, in, up, and up. Away, down, back, down, and down. Okay, so looking for yellow or whites. There's another one. We just keep doing. Again, I'm not looking for where's the white and red piece. I'm just looking for any white or yellow piece. So I'm not spending my time pairing up edges or things like that. I just because they will land next to themselves. They'll pair themselves up. You don't have to do that. And in my mind, looking for the edge pieces that match is mental bandwidth, mental time, and then comparing. And inside of 2 hours, because I spend the first hour working on corners. I work on Formula A until Formula A is solid in their head, just bringing colors to the top, and then I work on Formula B until the corners are set in their head, and then when I hand them a cube to go play with, so come back next week and say, by the way, if you change which columns you're using, different things will happen with Formula B. Play with it and come back. So, and then they come back in a week, and they have a question because they've solved the cube and solved the cube and solved and scrambled until they get to where they don't know what to do. And it's always, invariably, their question is always if it's a 3 by 3, the question is they've got 2 cubes that are in the right place, but they both need to be flipped, and they're used to working with 3 pieces, so they don't know what to do. And so I show them how to do that. Just place it incorrect and turn it around, bring it back to the front, place it incorrect. So the third piece moves forward and then back again, so it doesn't matter. So it's always when there's 2 pieces. If it's a large cube they took to play with, they'll come back and it'll be a parity. And so I will show them I will demonstrate how parity is a single quarter turn off, and that's all. And we play for the next hour, and they leave knowing they can pick up any complexity cube and put it down solved. Which is a fun mental trick, because if you find someone cubes have been around long enough. I'm gonna talk while I'm doing this. Cubes have been around long enough that people have played with them and learned, and then put it down and come back a year or 2 or so later. And so they've forgotten a couple of things, because in the standard method for solving Rubik's Cubes, there's a lot of things that you can forget. So I or my students can pick up a cube that has a large cube, mostly solved. There's just one or 2 pieces that they forgot how to place, like like I forgot how to do this last step. I forgot the parity algorithm, whatever. I'll pick it up, I'll apply Formula B to it, I'll put it back down again. And in their mind, we humans all think that everyone is like us. And so in their mind, I have learned everything that they've learned and remembered what they've forgotten. and as must have my students. But all they have to learn is A and B. And so it's easy to impress other cubers who've been away for a while. But like I said, anyone who's a speed cuber leaves me in the dust. So corners match the front. Yellow and white are left and right. Active color on top going in this direction. Away up, in up, away down, in down. Yellow or white, looking only at the edges, yellow or white. I ran out of yellow and white. So now I assess. Either my whites and yellows are all happy, or I have to displace some of them and place them again. The whites seem to be happy, the oranges are happy, and so the opposite edges are placed for this one and this one. And that's today's step. Continuing, the next step is to do the next step would be to put my whites face down, work with my yellows, and I'm going to, remember how I said I would displace something if I needed to get it to work out to the front? So I would displace a yellow I look at the side edges, any side edge that's not correct, I displace a yellow into it so it's in the front, and then place it as we go along. But I'm going to do that in the next step, because we've already established that Formula B moves a piece from the top front to the side front. And so that's what we're going to do when we put the white face down, and then we'll do all the side edges, and then either when the yellow that I've displaced comes back to the top, it's either solved or it's parity, and parities are easy to fix. So now I'm going to shift my brain, and I'm going to go over to the minxes. Unless any of you comment in the chat with questions for me you want me to demonstrate or talk about the cube some more. I will play whatever I want to play unless you ask me a question. I'm happy to divert to answer questions. So yesterday I did the star parts of the cube, Here's the star parts you have to do first. Normally I do the cube. Normally I go layer by layer until I get to the last layer or layers above the side star, the gray side star tips. But so I go layer by layer. But I didn't do that this time. I'm going inside out to demonstrate. So. Because once you get to this point, when you do the last layer, it's going to offset some of your corners, and that's okay. So now I will go layer by layer-ish. I start with the white and move my way across the cube. So the easiest thing to do, unless the cube is exactly lined up, is I'll start with the white on the opposite side of the cube. Okay, so this is the white, red, and blue. So I'll move it above where it wants to be. Here's the white, red, and blue. Okay, so I'm going to drop it. No, I'm not. This is how I do it. Okay, so this one wants to land right here. Okay, I can either offset my pink layer, move it above where it wants to be, and then move these three corners. Before I do this, I'm going to show you what happens. Okay, this is what happens when you apply Formula B to the corners on a cube, on a minx. Okay, so let's pick three colors that are easy to see. Okay, so top row, outside columns. Okay, I'm treating this as one face. So slide up, slide up, slide down, slide down, okay, and three corners moved. Nothing else moved, but three corners moved, okay, and they were the ending with the cube under my right thumb. Sorry, I've got a drink of water. So, to bring this white, red, and blue piece down to this white, red, and blue area, right here, I can either move the corners until it lands there. I can move it to here, and then to here, so that'd be two moves. Or I can drop it down above where it wants to be, rotate these three corners to place it, and then unplace my pink side. So that saves me one step. So every time you set up a move and then do the move and then reset the move, you run into a risk of resetting things in the wrong order. So I'm going to just jump like a chessboard, like the knight on the chessboard. So it wants to come here, okay, and I know how to move three cubes at once. So if I move these three, this will all move in one direction. So I'm going to do that first. Okay, so I'm going to move this one here. Slide up, slide down, slide down. There's a lot of jumping. Okay, now this one wants to be here, and so if these are the three pieces I'm going to move, this piece will land where it wants to be. So up, up, down, down. And this way I'm not upsetting my star pieces at all. So this is where it wants to be. And being where it wants to be, it's either in the correct place, it's either correctly positioned, or it wants to twist. If it wants to twist, Formula A does that. White, green, and red wants to go over to here, but I don't want to displace this. So I can jump it to here, and then I can jump it to here. So I find a piece that wants to be somewhere here. So here's my white, green, and red, and it wants to go here. So I'm going to jump it first to here, slide up, slide down, okay, and then it wants to go here, so I'm going to place it, move these three pieces to move it here. I don't care about what the third piece is doing. I'm just, okay, so now it's where it wants to be, and it wants to twist. I'm going to twist it now, rather than wait till I have more, just so I can show you how to twist it. So The corner that you want to twist should be in the top front right space, because we're going to twist bottom row, right column in order to twist the corners. We've already established that's how you do it. Here's how you twist the corners. Okay, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up, and it's in the right place, but it's twisted. In, up, out, down, in, up, twist it again. And then if I wanted to keep it, I'd move it out of the way. If I want to twist it back again, keep going. And if it's a multiple of 6, which mathematically it will always be from this point forward, the rest of the cube is unhurt. So the cube I want to twist is in the top front right position, and I'm going to twist it until it's where it wants to be relative to the rest of the cube, and then I'm going to safeguard it and finish my 6 set on a garbage cube. Don't care what it does yet. So out, down, in, up, that's 1. Out, down, in, up, that's 2, and that's where I want it, so I slide the top to safeguard it. Out, down, in, up, that's 3, and 4, 5, 6, and the rest of the cube is the way it was. Reset the top. Okay, so looking for another white. Here's a white, blue, and yellow. It wants to be over here, but again, I don't want to mess up this one, so I'm going to move it over here and then in. So slide up, slide down, and I'm doing this without any sets or resets. Okay, so this one now wants, which one was I working on? Okay, this one now wants to be here, so I'm going to move these 3, 1 row to the right, clockwise, up, up, down, down, and it's where it wants to be. Doesn't need to be twisted, so that's fine. Here's another white. It's green and it goes all the way to the other side of the cube, so I'm not even going to work. We're going to look for something more advantageous first. So here's a white, yellow, and purple. Also goes all the way to the other side of the cube. Okay. All right. Because it's all the way to the other side of the cube, it's going to be more jumps than it's worthwhile. So I'm going to offset my gray to set it above where it wants to be. I'm going to offset my orange to bring it down above where it wants to be. Then I'm going to place it, and then I'm going to reset my orange and then my gray. So up, up, down, down, and then reset my orange, and then reset my gray. I reset them in the opposite way that I did. Okay, so here, this one's in the right place, wants to be twisted. Where's the other one? Right here. And it wants to go all the way over here. So I'm going to move it to the top, move it to the gray side by moving 3 columns around, move 3 corners around, okay? And then I'm going to bring it above where it wants to be by offsetting the gray, offset the blue, set it, reset the blue, and then reset the gray. Okay, or I could just jump it 3 or 4 times. So now these are both where they want to be, but they both want to be twisted, so let's hold them so that they're both on the top face where they can be twisted. But I'm going to have a 3rd piece in case I need more, because I don't want to offset. I want to protect these, so I'm going to do it with these this way. So bottom row, right column, I'm going to twist this. When it's correct, I'm going to move it out of the way and twist this one, and then either I'm done or I'll move it out of the way and twist another one, because it's going to be a multiple of 6. So out, down, in, up, that's 1. Out, down, in, up, that's 2. That is not the way it wants to be. So 3, 4, move it out of the way, and then this one, same bottom and right, 5, 6, and set, and we're done. So the yellow's done. Okay, so the next thing to do is the double bolt. Each corner has 3 colors, And the ones next to white I refer to as bold, the ones next to the gray I refer to as pastel. So I'm looking for a corner that has double bold on it. So it will not have a gray and it will not have two pastels. So here's one, red and blue with the pink, okay, and it wants to go over here. So I'm going to bring it, offset the gray to bring it above, and then I'm going to place it this way by putting it there. So I'm going to offset the gray, place it with formula B, and then replace the gray. Okay, and there it is where it wanted to be. It's correctly turned. This one's where it wants to be, but it wants to twist. So before I go any further, I'm just going to safeguard this piece. Actually, no, I'm not. So I'm looking for double bolts. So this one has gray, this one has gray, this one has two pastels, this one has gray, this one has double bolts, red and green, and then yellow. So it's going to go above the red and green and yellow. So it's right here, and it wants to go here. I will move it above and then switch these three to place it up. So I offset the gray, place it, and reset the gray. And then look at it, there it is. Okay, so, all right, gray, gray, double pastel, gray. Okay, this one has double bold. It's blue, purple and green above the blue, so it wants to go right here. So these three corners, place it, move it twice, 1/4 turn, 1/4 clockwise each time. So up, up, down, down, again up, up, down, down, and it's where it wants to be. It does want to twist, as does this one. Okay, so all right, so bottom row, right column, out, down, in, up, formula A, up 1, out, down, in, up 2, that's correct, slide it out of the way, continue on this one, 3, 4, 5, 6, the rest of the cube is untouched, reset the top, and we're getting there. So the white's done, the next layer's done. We're working on this 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for one more. It's the yellow and blue and olive. So it's right here. Wants to move here. So I can move these three, but that would offset this one. So I'm going to move these three twice, so that this one will go here and then here. So up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down, and it's where it wants to be, correctly turned. Okay, so 1, this one's correct, 2, 3, 4, all of them are correct, one of them wants to be twisted. So I will twist this one and then finish off with this one that I don't care what happens to it. So out, down, and up 1, out, down, and up 2, not correct yet, out, down, and up 3, out, down, and up 4, slide it out of the way to protect it, continue my 6 set, 5, 6, the rest of the cube is unchanged, and reset, and we're done. So now the white side is done, the second layer was already done, now we've got the sides, the white sides are now completely done, okay, and the edge pieces, the meridian, the equator edge center tips we've already done. So the next layer is these corners here, okay, this one's correct, this one's not, this one's not, this one's not. So now we're looking for corners that are single bold, which will not be gray. So here's a gray, here's a gray, here's a single bold, it's purple. So it wants to go above the purple over here. I can either move it above where it wants to be and then place it and then move it back, or I can, moving these three, will place it there. So there's less setting. So up, up, down, down. I want to do less setting than I need to. And so now this one wants to go here. So these three, up, up, down, down. Okay. So that's where it wants to be. It needs to be twisted. This one wants to be here. The bolt is yellow, so it wants to go here. So these three will move twice. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Okay, so this is where it wants to be, it needs to be flipped. This is where it wants to be, needs to be flipped. Let's flip these now. Okay, so bottom row, right column, out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. That's correct. Bring the other one to the twisting spot. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. Not yet, again. Out, down, in, up, out, down, in, up. And the rest of the cube is happy. So that was a 6 set. Reset the top, and we're good. So the white's done. Yellows are done. Blues, not blue. These ones, okay, so we're still looking for a blue and a red corner. Here's the blue one. Wants to go here. So I can offset it, place, and then reset, or I can do it twice. I'm going to do it twice just so there's less probability of messing up my edges. So it's one, up, up, down, down, and there it's set. Okay, so this one's correct, this one's correct. We're looking for the red. Right here, wants to go here. 3 pieces move clockwise, so this one will go there. Up, up, down, down, and it's happy. So layer by layer, now everything, the stars are all still set. The last step is these last 4 corners. Okay, this one, I can see that one of them is correct, but the easiest way to see whether they're correct, again, I don't care about superfluous moves. I'm going to bring the gray to the top on all of the sides so it's easier to see where the pieces want to move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, slide the top, keep going, 5, 6, I need to keep going, so that's okay, 7, 8, slide, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's always going to be a multiple of 6 to do a step. So reset the top. Okay, so this one's correct, and none of the others are. So this one has the orange and blue, so it wants to come over here. So I don't want to mess up this one, so I'm going to move it 1, and then 2, and then 3. So up, up, down, down, and again up, up, down, and down. Now once more we'll put it back where it was, so I'm going to regrip, and then this one wants to go this way. So again, formula B, we'll move it one clockwise. There we go. Okay, so these 2 are correct. These ones are not. So I'm going to move formula B, we'll move them. And then either they'll be correct or they won't. If they're correct, then I leave it alone. If they're not, then I do formula B again. And now they're in the correct place. They just want to be twisted, so I can twist them. Bottom row, right column, out, down, and up, out, down, and up. Slide, continue, 3, 4, 5, 6, rest of the cube is untouched, and reset. Ta-da! Yay! The crowd goes wild. All right. So that's it. That's my Tuesday. Good to see you guys. I will come back and do the rest of the side edges here. And I'm going to finish the corners on this one off screen, and then I will be able to do the edges or the centers for this tomorrow as well. That's it for the day. Thank you for joining me, and go have yourself a nice day. Be nice to yourself. drink water, have fun, and I'll be back here tomorrow. Bye, you guys.